episode of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host Avik, and today's episode is for every soul who's ever felt like life knocked them down, only to discover that they were actually being rerouted to something far more powerful. Yeah. So, dear listeners, our guest today is someone who didn't wait for a rescue. Actually, she rose. So please welcome Karen Aucoin. So welcome to the show, Karen.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm
Amazing.
excited to be here.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, I'd love to introduce you with Karen. So, she is a floral designer, venue owner, creative visionary, and the soulful force behind JoBelle and Studio 131. So, these are the two stunning spaces where beauty and transformation bloom in equal measure. So, from losing her dance studio while pregnant to building a luxury design business that styled over 500 events. And her story is rooted in the resilience, reinvention, and the radical creativity. So, whether you are building a business or maybe rebuilding your self worth or just trying to breathe through a tough season, then this one's for you. So, wait, let's get started. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
Amazing. So, Karen, your story doesn't, start with the spreadsheets and the strategy. It actually begins with the heartbreak. So, uh, I mean, as I mentioned in the beginning, like you lost your dance studio while pregnant. So, if you can take us to that moment, like, um, I mean, what was the feeling that time? Like, what was the first sign that something inside you wasn't breaking, but actually building?
Well, I always imagined that I would dance forever. It was my first love, my first passion,
Wow.
and a big escape, actually.
Mhm.
My childhood was very toxic, and there was a lot of different forms of abuse
Mm.
that I underwent as a kid. But everyone has challenges in their
Yeah.
childhood, so you can either overcome and shine, or you can kind of stay in that toxic pattern. So I chose dance because it always put me in a good place. It always made me healthy, strong. It was an escape that wasn't dangerous.
Mm.
And I really fell in love with teaching after I had a shift in my career as a ballerina. So I
Mm.
ended up coming down to Florida and teaching Latin and ballroom dancing. And I started my
Yeah.
own business doing that. I really loved it. But when I got pregnant with my daughter,
Mhm.
it became harder and harder to teach, and I still did a little bit, but I was at
Mm.
this crossroads. My mom was sick and she was dying of cancer, which is I still talk to her
Mm.
even though she's not here.
Yeah.
Um, but I just I came to these crossroads and, a lot of people will tell you, "Well, go with something safe. Go be a
Mm.
secretary or go do something where you're gonna get paid hourly and da da da." And
Mm.
I said, "Well, I can't do that because it's not in my design to do that, and I make a lot more teaching dance lessons. I
Mm.
could teach for 3 hours and take care of my child
Yeah.
instead of working 20 hours doing something I hate." So I always just had to disagree with all those voices and all the people telling me what I should be doing and follow my heart and go with my gut, like my mom always said.
Yeah.
So I was kind of in this turmoil, and
Mm.
I got an opportunity to actually take over an entire venue,
Mm.
um, during COVID, and I had no idea what I was gonna do. I was like, "I'm just a dance teacher. I'm used to paying a few $100 a month for
Mm.
rent," and I had no idea how I was gonna do it, but, with the passing of my mom and the courage she always gave me and, the drive that she instilled in us to follow our heart and go with our gut,
Mm.
I said, "Well, there's major life changes happening whether I like it or not,
Yeah.
and, I'm just gonna start a venue because I need an easier and better way to be able to
Mm.
provide for my daughter." And that's what I did. I went for it, and it's been a process of learning since
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I can totally understand. I mean, the moment of loss, like especially while expecting, is is something that so many women silently carry, and like, yet your story reminds us that we can uh birth new dreams even in the rubble. So it's not about being rescued; it's all about rising. So that's great that you rose. Yeah. And also, like, uh there's something so sacred about your work. You do this, that creating the events that feel like home. I really love that. I mean, so how did beauty and community become part of your healing process?
Well, I mean, with starting the business, I knew I just had to stay very, very busy. And I always had a passion for people, which is why I was a dance teacher. And I even taught at a lot of kids' schools.
Mm,
And I worked with a lot of children that really didn't have much money or had family problems,
mm,
or just their dynamic was really complicated. And they also would use dance as their escape.
mm,
So I wanted to carry that feeling and that message into whatever I did next, because I knew at the heart of it that if I wasn't passionate about what I was doing, it wasn't going to be any good.
mm,
Um, so I wanted to keep that community vibe. And, another thing my mom was always really great at was throwing parties. So I was like, well, if she can do it, so can I.
mm.
And I think being part of everyone's most celebrated moments, most
Yeah.
important moments, it comes with a lot of responsibility, but it's
Mm,
also something I'd much rather do than be a doctor or a surgeon or a lawyer, because then you're really with people kind of at their worst moments, at their most difficult. So, even though there's some complications that go with events, and event planning is probably
mm,
one of the most stressful jobs on the planet if you care about it and you care about people, um, I'd much rather be on that end of things, being there when they're celebrating, being there to support them when they're scared before they walk down the aisle, or being with that mom who's expecting, who's truly terrified, and,
yeah.
offering them a shoulder to, lean on, or just giving them this beautiful party that they really deserve, and reminding them how special these moments are. And even when I see, brides
Mm,
getting ready and talking to their family and their bridesmaids and their moms, I say, make sure you get all those pictures,
yeah.
Make sure you get every moment captured, because you're never going to be this young and beautiful again, and we're never promised tomorrow. So, enjoy it.
Very truly said. Yeah. Very, very truly said. I totally agree on this. And also, um, if I may ask, like, has there ever been a moment where the art that you created for someone else, ended up healing something in you? So,
That's a really excellent question. I actually When I started the venue, I didn't really have my creative outlet anymore, and I felt a little bit lost, because I always use dance for that, to
mm,
help heal and to, help, soothe myself through creativity.
mm,
Um, and I always found ways to do that even when I wasn't dancing, but
mm,
when I started doing the design for these weddings and parties and started doing all the florals, I fell in love with it. I
yeah.
studied everything. I'm kind of obsessed. Yesterday, I spent 13 hours putting florals together. 13 hours straight, which is a little insane, but I'm creating something so beautiful and magical for someone that it feels completely natural. And I'll say, I kind of go into a Zen state and a meditative state, and I can actually listen to music. And music for me always brings up memories of certain people, whether I've lost them, or maybe it was through relationships that didn't work out, or hopes or dreams I have for my kids. It helps me process stuff when I'm listening to music and creating something beautiful. So, it's kind of like choreography. When I was dancing, I would create and design dances for people and teach them how to move through each step. Well, for me now, it's through floral design. And I think when I go into that mode of healing and passion and um, happiness, my designs come out better. They're more beautiful and more interesting, and that evokes feelings in my clients too. So I think I can spread the love and spread the joy that way.
Got it, got it. And like I mean, it's really powerful when your work doesn't just serve others, it actually softens you too. So that's the great part of it. And um so also, like, you have built this empire while raising two kids and even named your business after them. That's so beautiful, yeah. I mean,
Oh.
uh, yeah, and and then let's be real, right? The the emotional labor of being a mom and the CEO. I mean, it's real. I mean, what's one truth that you um, wish more people understood about that balance?
Oh, well, I get this question a lot from people. I'm always trying to be a mentor to people, whether I really think I'm at a next up level from them or not. People tend to lean on me for advice or guidance, and so I try and be a good mentor and good examples. And I get this question a lot from a lot of the other powerful female entrepreneurs in my life, and they're like, "Well, how do you do it all, Karen?" And I said, "Well, first of all, I'm blessed because I have a wonderful partner. I mean, Bubba does so much for us. He's just incredible. Like, he actually
Mm,
brought the kids to school today and made lunch and got them all ready,
yeah.
and it was wonderful. But there's also the flip side of the guilt you feel because, Isabel said, I want mommy to bring me to school. And I said, Well, honey,
Mm,
I have a job to do. But with that said, I don't I don't wanna feel guilty, and I choose not to be feeling
okay.
guilty all the time. What I do is I just find the balance. When I feel like she's needing or wanting my attention, I make specie time for me and her, and I put it in my calendar just like a client or a job or an event that I have to do. My
Yeah.
event is with my daughter, and I do the same thing with my son. I will put something special for a little mommy and Isabel date, and we'll either go get our nails done or go to the park or
Mm,
go to Chuck E. Cheese or paint pictures together or whatever she wants to do. She's 4, so, anything's pretty fun for her. She wanted to just sit on the floor and pretend we were camping yesterday, and sometimes I only have 5 minutes to do that, and sometimes I'm
mm,
like, "Oh, I don't have time. I have to finish this project," and then take a step back and say, "Wait a minute,
yeah.
Taryn, your most important job is being her mom." But I also want my daughter to see what's possible for her. I want and for my son too. My son's only
Mm,
1, so, at an intellectual level, it's not quite the same, but they're both very smart, and I love that they can be with me at work. Isabel's in school now, but, both of them join me to set up events
mm,
sometimes, and Joseph's with us all the time still, and Isabel was until she was about 3, so being able to have them around and get all those sweet little snuggles in and, have them with me is challenging, but also probably the best part of my life, and I don't think anything drives me more than my kids. I'll take on more projects, more team members and more challenges because I know I can do it because I have to do it because I have to do it for them. And I want them to see that. I want them to chase their dreams and do whatever they want when they get older. I want them to have, you know, a I want them to have a retirement fund that I created for them so they don't have to work a lame 9 to 5 that they hate. I want them to go follow their passions and know that they have a retirement fund. When you have that security and you have that,
yeah.
and that passion and drive in you, it's not as terrifying. I know I never got that, but I would like to do it for them.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I mean, Yeah, exactly. Like, I think listeners really need to hear that it's not about perfection, but it's all about the intention. And sometimes creating calm for others becomes a way of anchoring ourselves too. So that's the great part of it. Oh, so lovely. And also, like, leadership, I mean, can be beautiful, but it's also very heavy. So what are the daily habits or the rituals or maybe the grounding practices help you reset your nervous system and uh, show up as a kind of grounded leader? So what do you say?
My practices, well, first off, I have a really strong morning routine. So I wake up before everybody. I
Mhm.
make sure the first thing I do is fuel my body with water,
Mm.
H2O. People forget to do that. They go straight for the coffee, and it's
Yeah.
actually not good for you. There's a lot of studies that say if you wait 1 hour before you drink your first cup of coffee or add caffeine,
Mm.
your brain will function at a higher level. You won't get a crash in the middle of the day, and I didn't believe it at first, but when I tried it, it works. So
Mhm.
I make sure I wait. I do not look at my cell phone immediately the first thing I do. The first thing I do is find time for God, find time to look outside and enjoy nature for a moment. Sometimes my babies are up, sometimes they're not. It's never perfect, but
Mm.
I have certain non negotiables with myself. A little movement, a little stretch, and I actually practice
Yeah.
hypnosis as well. So,
Oh.
yeah, hypnosis has been a game changer for me. I was experiencing a lot of burnout about a year ago, and I wasn't sure if I had to make a major shift or not. And I actually started doing hypnosis for
Mm.
prosperity mindset. And it was a game changer. It made me start really trusting myself, get out of fight or flight mode, which a lot of us will find ourselves in. It
Exactly.
releases some of the fear. We don't want to act and react because of fear. It helps tap into your subconscious and helps you remember why you do the things you do and what's really important. And also,
Exactly.
prosperity is not necessarily all about money, it's about finding the balance in your life. And for me, my main points are kind of like a triangle, and I need to make sure each part of that triangle is getting fed. So I have, my business, which is huge to me. It's like one of my other babies.
Mm.
I have my family, which is the most important thing of all to me, but also my self love and my mindset work and my physical health and mental health. All of that is so important because if I am not okay,
Yeah.
everything else suffers. Everybody else around me suffers. And the more people that I add to my team or my business or my family, the more things I'm responsible for. So if I'm not okay emotionally or physically, everybody suffers. And then that hurts worse. And that goes into a cycle of negativity. And I just don't allow that into my life. Um, so that's certainly one thing I do. And another is just keeping your circle really tight. So just
Mm.
surrounding yourself by only people who inspire you, motivate you, challenge you, surprise you, and make you the best version of yourself. I
Mm.
don't drink alcohol or do any drugs or substances. I don't have time or room for that in my life. It doesn't make me feel good, so I choose not to do it, but I still have fun. Still go to the beach and go dance and do all kinds of great stuff. I just do it without
Yeah.
that, that influence. So
Amazing. That's so lovely. I mean, dear listeners, I would say like we need more conversations like this because conversations that say you are allowed to rest, you are allowed to um, rewrite the rules, and your softness is not a liability, it's your superpower. So that's the great part of it. And Karen, thank you so much for showing us that you don't have to be rescued to be powerful. That sometimes the most beautiful business and most soulful lives are born not in the light, but definitely in the fire. So, to everyone who is listening, if you are navigating chaos, fear, or reinvention, then this episode is your permission slip to rise anyway. Your nervous system matters, and your um, intuition is valid, and your softness, it's, I would say, sacred. So, until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, and never forget your story is not over. It's just blooming. So, this is your host, Avik, signing off from Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. Thank you so much. Wow, what a great conversation.
Wow, thank you so much. It actually felt easier than I expected. You are a wonderful host.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll be releasing this episode in next 7 days. And for that, I'll quickly request if you just go to Podmatch right now.
I'm sorry, if I go where?
Podmatch.
I'm sorry, which part?
Podmatch. Podmatch. So are you managing or someone else? Your peer team is managing your peer team is there?
My PR team is managing this, but they're not here right now.
Oh, okay, okay. No issue. You can just let them know that your interview is over and they just need to mark this interview as complete. So I'll get the button to upload the episode link.
Okay, perfect. Thank you
Perfect.
so very much. It was wonderful talking with
Thank
you. I
you.
appreciate your time
Thank you.
today.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Thank
right. Yeah.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.